Hey everybody, welcome back to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows that they star in.
Hey everyone, today is episode 30, which is crazy. We're joined by our friend Jack Bacow. Him and I are actually friends from Michigan, and when I went out to Palm Springs a couple weeks ago, like a month ago now, he hung out with Gabby and I, and we had a lot of fun there. So then we definitely thought we needed to have Jack on. So finally we have him. Jack, do you want to just introduce yourself a little?
Yeah, so I'm from like the suburbs of Detroit from Michigan, and I moved to LA 5 years ago. So I live in LA full time, and I love Bravo, obviously. And yeah, I'm 23, a little old, but yeah.
And you have your own YouTube channel as well with your friend Ashley, correct?
Yes, so there's a little tea on that. Me and Ashley are like still very good friends, but starting like this coming week, I'm doing my very own YouTube channel because our schedules were so conflicting, and it's not dramatic or anything. It's just like we don't have the time to do it together. So I'm starting my own channel, and hopefully people will tune in. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned for that.
I know.
We had so much fun hanging out in Palm Springs, and those of you who follow us on TikTok will have seen that Michael, myself, and Jack made some really funny TikToks pretending to be housewives. We were quoting all these different iconic lines, and it was such a blast. Like Jack does the best Margaret Josephs impression.
Yeah,
It's
literally
God
the
tier.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the comments.
It's, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love all housewives, but for some reason, like, Margaret really comes easy to me in terms of imitating. So, like, oh my God, Danielle, Teresa, I just cannot believe what's going on with that. And Jennifer is nuts. So that's my little glimpse.
Yeah, we'll get into the Marge later.
So good. And you did a great Sutton as well.
Yeah.
And so we had so much fun. Like I was saying, in Palm Springs, Jack and I are hanging out again next month. And unfortunately, Michael won't be there. He'll be in Michigan. We need Michael in California with us.
I know. I need to live in like Palm Springs for the whole winter.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
That would be amazing. That's my life goal. And then just be in Michigan for the summer.
So those of you who've been listening to The Word on the Street Is for a while now, we're on our 30th episode. That's so crazy. You will know that we love to have our first time guests do a Bravo palette, and that is their top 5 favorite housewives and their 5 least favorite housewives. So Jack, if you could please tell us your 5 favorite Real Housewives, it can be past and present.
So this is in no particular order. This is all just my top tier 5. I'm not going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like my 5 favorite automatically. So definitely Teresa from Jersey. I think she paved the way for that show, and she still carries it. And it, like as an honorable mention, Margaret too now, but definitely Teresa for sure. Next would be Sonia Morgan. I love her humor. I love how she gets like tipsy or blackout. I just think she's so real and honest. Next would definitely be, and this is like, I'm probably gonna get hate for this, Vicki Gunvalson. As controversial as she is, I think she makes great TV. And obviously Orange County really suffered last season without her and Tamra. And I feel like she just brings this like wacko entertainment value to the show, even though she is problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also love, and I'll probably get hate for this too, a lovely Anne. I feel like she put Dallas on the map. That first season, like it got the attention because of her, and I feel like she just really I don't know, carried the show. And this last season of Dallas, I really only enjoyed Tiffany. So, And how many was that? 4, I think, so far? Yeah. And then my other favorite would definitely be Kim Richards. The chaotic energy, her storyline, like it genuinely made me feel bad for her because it felt so real, just with addiction and alcoholism. But at the same time, she's brought humor to the show and this kind of craziness that's very real. So I admire that.
I miss Kim so much.
She's not on this season at all. I'm happy we got Kathy. We'll get into that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Kathy is more chaotic than Kim, honestly.
Yeah, with that coffee filter hat we saw in the promos. What the hell was that?
I live for it. I totally live for that.
Not to talk about Beverly Hills just yet, but I just wanted to reminisce on something funny about Kathy Hilton and Lisa Rinna. Do you remember when Lisa and Kim were like going back and forth about something or other, and Kim said, well, Kathy said it was okay, and Lisa was like, is Kathy God? Do you guys remember that?
I remember that.
I feel like Kathy's brought up a lot, like the iconic Amsterdam dinner scene. Like she's like, Kathy would never act this way to me.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if Rinna and Kathy will butt heads at all.
Yeah, I kind of want them to, but I feel like Rinna's, after last season, I think Rinna's trying to like stay low.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get back to the Bravo palette. If you want to now give us your 5 least favorite housewives in no particular order.
Yeah, so no particular order, but a least favorite of mine is definitely Peggy Solanian from that one season. And they made it such a big deal because she's like the 100 housewife. What a disappointment. Like,
yeah.
And I cringed watching. I just,
The only moment I like from her is when she did this to Megan. To Megan's lips.
I know, and then she didn't even explain that right though. She's like, she bugged the.
She was bad.
Especially for first season, like you've got a lot of, Next would definitely be, and I'm like so irritated she's back for like a limited time this season, would be Heather Thompson. The holla and hey mama, like it's just so put on for me. I'm like, I just feel like she tries so hard, it's like obnoxious.
Yeah, we'll get into her later because I also hate her.
Heather, also from Dallas, Carrie Brittingham. I did not like her in her first season, and the previous season just made me hate her even more. The immaturity, the like literally no respect for anybody else, and how she went after Leanne and not after Brandy for, in terms of racial comments, like, whatever. I just find her very, just annoying.
Well, she didn't go after Brandy, and now she's not going after Cam for doing that to Tiffany.
Exactly. Like, why are you only going after Leanne's rate? Like, I get Leanne was directly talking about her, but if you're all about standing up for, equality and equal justice between races, of course, you're clearly going to ignore Brandy's Asian comments and Cameron's, controversy with Tiffany. And I just think she picks and chooses, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
You can't choose like when racism is convenient for you or not. Either it bothers you or it doesn't.
Yeah, like just because it applied to her, obviously stick up for yourself, but then it's like, what about all the other times? Stick up for other people too. Exactly. So she really bugs me. Next, this is probably no surprise to anybody but Teddy. I'm so happy she's gone. She like brought nothing. I found her like none of her storylines were interesting to me, and I feel like she just like clinged on to Kyle because so
Yeah, that friendship was weird. Yeah, and she brought Kyle down, I feel like.
she totally did. I feel like Kyle's last season was weak, or like Kyle wasn't likable last season. A huge part because of Teddy. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Not how many was that? I don't know why I'm losing.
4.
I'm a dumb blonde. Yes, and then also from Jersey, Jackie Goldschneider.
Okay.
And like, yes, her feud with Teresa this season, sure, it was, I guess you could say, interesting. What really sticks out to me is I feel like she has never truly acknowledged the fact that she was such a major fan, and the picture of her meeting Teresa, I feel like that's rarely ever been acknowledged, and I just don't like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I also want to point out that Melissa's a hypocrite because her bestie's Jackie, but then on the reunion, she called out Jennifer for being a fan. And it's like, well, look at your friend going to Teresa's book signing. Like,
yeah, and I feel like Jackie never admitted like that she was a big fan before, which annoys me.
So thank you so much, Jack, for sharing your Bravo palette with us. I just always love how diverse everyone's preferences are when it comes to the Real Housewives. Like there always is somebody on the list that we've never seen on the list before.
Yeah, for sure.
So on that note, we are now going to get into some Bravo news. Like we have had so much Bravo news. I am living for it. A lot of accounts will be like, I'm so exhausted by all of this. I'm just the opposite. I'm like, keep it coming. You can't give me enough.
Give me more. No.
I'm kind of exhausted, but I'm hanging on.
I love it. Like you can't give me too much Bravo gossip and drama. I live for it.
So getting into some Atlanta, I know that Atlanta's supposed to start filming again in the next month. However, they've made no casting calls yet. And the rumors are right now that 2 of the cast members might be demoted. My prediction would for sure be Cynthia, and then I could see Candy being demoted to a friend. Although they're 2 long running like great housewives, I think their time is kind of running up, and they also get paid. They're 2 of the highest paid housewives, so I feel like it would free up money for other women to come on Atlanta. So I don't know what your prediction is, Gaby or Jack.
I definitely could see them demoting Cynthia and or Candy. I don't know if they'll demote both of them. I really hope Kenya's going to be coming back. I know she has like so much like personal turmoil going on with Mark and like their custody situation. And like as we saw, Brooklyn's blurred out now at all times on the show. Mark is like blurring himself out, idiot. Like we don't know what he looks like. So I don't know if Kenya might just get fed up with that and at some point will just not want to be a part of Atlanta anymore. So I'm really just not sure.
Yeah, I would like Kenya back just for the drama. So I'm hoping it's like even Drew, I would honestly be fine if Drew didn't come back, but I think she will just because it was her first season.
She'll get a sophomore season, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So. I'm not a huge fan of Atlanta, but I will say this. In terms of, Cynthia and Candy possibly being demoted, look at Tamara and Vicky. They took 2 away, when they were kind of fizzling out. And it obviously, I'm pretty sure there's different production companies for each franchise. But I feel like that could easily happen. And a lot, if you look at history of Bravo shows, a lot of long-standing wives are gone. Vanderpump, Bethany, so I could easily see that possibly happening.
Portia and Kenya, I feel like bring the most drama opposed to like Candy and Cynthia. Whereas like OC, I think it was carried by Tamara and Vicky more so. And sort of Kelly, but so I think that Atlanta has good like backup people, whereas OC did not.
So now we have some more Bravo news to cover that's Jersey related, and we may be getting a new Jersey housewife for the next season. Her name is, and I apologize that I don't think I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Ayakisha,
Bone?
I think is how you say it, Ayakisha
Yeah.
Cologne, and she's married to an NFL player. I can't remember if he's current or former. She's currently expecting a little girl, and they already have one child together. And it looks like she is a person of color, which we definitely need on Jersey.
Yeah. Not a tan bitch, like an actual person of color.
Yeah.
Dolores was like, I'm 1% Black. She said that on Wendy Williams. I'm like, girl,
My God.
Yeah, no.
please.
Yeah, and she's friends with like Melissa and Marge, so I'm like, okay, another person to add to that group. I hate that group, sorry.
I only like Marge from it.
Yeah, but I feel like Marge is getting annoying with those two.
And speaking of Melissa, we have been seeing this argument play out on Instagram between Melissa and Jennifer Aiden. And it was the day that the reunion premiered. So some people are like, are they just faking this? But Jennifer and Melissa really hate each other. So I don't think this feud that they had going on the day of the reunion is fake.
Well, I think Melissa should be thanking Jennifer for saving her role on next season because she has no storyline and she is just reaching for drama so she can stay on the show. So God bless Jennifer for her paycheck. Melissa should not be calling anyone fake or conniving when she's had 3 years of fake storylines. I could go on, but Jennifer put Melissa in her place. Team Jennifer all the way.
I'm totally with you, Michael. And it's literally like everything Jennifer said in that post, I found to be true. Melissa would not be on the show if she wasn't Teresa's sister-in-law.
True.
Joe is absolutely more entertaining than her. Literally constant like facts I found to be true. And call me like holding a grudge or like stuck to the past, but to me, what Melissa and Kathy did, back at the time of going on behind her back, I just think that truly speaks volumes and how you're literally willing to throw a family relationship away for fame. So I completely agree, and I love that Jennifer called her out.
Yeah, Jennifer was not playing around with her, and I was here for it.
Y'all know I love Melissa, but this feud is highly entertaining. And I do agree with Jennifer. Like all Melissa's storylines over the past few years have been fake and it's stupid. And I'm not interested in that. I want actual, raw, real storylines. Like you don't have to give us like everything in your life. Like I know there's like boundaries when you're a housewife, like give the fans a certain amount, but keep some things private. I respect that. But to just making stuff up just for the sake of it is stupid. So yes, I can still love Melissa, but agree on the storyline.
Yeah.
You can also tell like Melissa, when she's angry, really tries to ham it up, like throwing the cheese plate. I'm like, she really thought, what's the most dramatic thing I can do?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't in the moment. That wasn't a table flip moment. That wasn't dumping, water on someone's head. I just feel like that was so thought out.
It was probably calculated. She was like, which dish am I going to throw? Which will make the least mess? Cubes of cheese over like a plate of pasta with red sauce.
And then she's picking it up after. I'm like, girl.
Oh, I know. I will say, like, the family drama does at least feel more authentic than, like, her, like, marital issues or whatever else she's had going on. But why don't we just get into the reunion? Because this first part was pretty good. I will say, like, sticking to the Melissa and Jennifer drama, Melissa was then calling out Jennifer for saying that she, like, exposed her mom for her storyline, whatever, and then Marge and Jackie had to chime in. However, if we look at it, Melissa exposed her daughter doing the sex talk this season for a storyline. Marge's whole storyline is her mom being a terrible mom. And then Jackie exposed her dad last season regarding her eating disorder. So all three of them are just hypocrites. I can't stand them three as a group. I love Marge, but I feel like they like bring Marge down. That's my thoughts. They were just annoying me so much. So at the end, Jennifer was like saying that Marge was the reason for the Evan cheating rumor. Do you think? I think Marge played a part. I wouldn't say she was like the reason for it, but I think Marge is a lot guiltier than she's like leading on.
Yeah, I would, I'm sure this is not the most reliable source, but if you like watch Danielle's Instagram lives of where she's whatever, but literally at the very beginning, she was like, Margaret's behind this, So I'm like, look, I know she obviously hates Margaret, so it could just be a lie she's making up, but as much as I really do love Margaret, I feel like she's a bit more involved than she's leading on. But I would love for Teresa to just say who told her this rumor. Maybe it was that friend of Michelle. I don't know, who I could not stand. But I would just love to hear, but maybe, like I said, Teresa and Margaret made a deal going into the season that Teresa would carry this out. Who knows?
Also, touching on Danielle, I don't think we've ever gotten confirmation that she's a liar. When has it ever like been blatantly super obvious that she lied? Like with Teresa with the hair pull, like she was caught red-handed. When have we ever actually caught Danielle lying?
She's kind of like a Brandy type where she's very like crazy, but she's not that much of a liar.
Yeah, and because of like things they've done that I'm not like saying are I can stand behind. They've both done things that are not nice to other people, but I don't think either of them are liars. Like just because you're not a nice person doesn't mean you're like automatically dishonest.
They go for low blows, and I'm trying to remember like early season Danielle. I know, the iconic "your house is in foreclosure." Like I'm like, was that true? I don't know.
It was.
Yeah. So yeah, I think what she says may be true, but they're really low blows.
Yeah, it's the way she delivers it. It makes people question like, oh, you're just saying that because it's heat of the moment. I think Danielle's one of those people. She always has things locked and loaded in her arsenal. And when it's time to use them at the best time, that's when they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like Marge has just been like backtracking all season. Like when Jennifer exposed her husband, like she was just backtracking. I think she just needs to like own it and move on. Because I think like own it. I think Jackie will forgive her. It's just like I'm just like sick of her like blaming everyone else for what she's done.
I do have to say, this is like in regards to the Jersey reunion, I was cackling when Teresa was like to Margaret, she's like, are you gonna put married to a plumber in your body? I was like,
I love that because like Marge always wants to come for Jen for all of these things, and I feel like Teresa shut Marge down, like not even like meaning to. It was like,
yeah, I was like, that was actually one. Like, Teresa, did you just make an analogy?
Right? She learned what that is.
Yeah, it took a whole season at like what, almost 50 years old. But good job, Teresa.
The other
that
thing
wasn't age shaming. That was like her lack of intelligence shaming.
I love her ditziness, though. I don't know. That's part of why I love her, I guess.
I also liked how we talked about waking up in the morning again. I always love when that gets talked about. I just think it's so funny.
You're so obsessed.
I know.
It's a bop.
So now we're going to head out of the Garden State and over to our ladies in the Big Apple to talk about RHONY. I thought this was a really great episode this week. I really enjoyed it. There wasn't much like filler time. It was a lot of like good conversations and drama in different locations. I loved it.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more women in the group, but like a lot of people are hating on this season, and I think it's been like pretty entertaining so far. I like when they do the trips, they're always like pretty chaotic. So it's just pretty on par for New York still.
I have to say this about New York. I think the cast is way too small.
Yeah.
And I feel like out of all the shows, New York is very much known for the most filler, the most kind of not relevant, like just a lot of filler and kind of meaningless conversations. Like, you know, this may be like unpopular. I don't like Ebony. I look, we're only 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm not, I don't know. But I have to say, at the end of this episode, as that dinner was getting, and Sonia was getting drunker and drunk, that's what I live for. I was like, bring it, Sonia, the craziness, and I was loving it.
I usually live for Sonia's like drunkenness, but this felt different. Like it felt kind of dark. Like she got so triggered over like Ramona saying Wells Fargo has like lower rates, and then just like blew up, and it's like this whole Morgan thing still. And like I thought Dorinda was unnecessarily rude to her with the Morgan stuff, but now I feel like it's getting kind of out of hand. Like she's still like so upset about it. I mean, it's still like so triggering to her.
Yeah, it's odd, but also at the same time, who the hell is still promoting Wells Fargo? Like we've all learned they're the worst company ever. Like
Exactly.
Ramona, are you freaking kidding me? Like who the hell still likes Wells Fargo?
I just, you know, I feel like so far, and like they've touched briefly on it, Sonia's isolating herself, and I really think she might be going through something. And you saw her crying when the healer came or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, I don't know, like early season Sonia, she was just more carefree, and I feel like lately there's something going on with her, and it makes me sad because
Yeah.
she's the life of the party, I feel like, but I feel like there's something really heavy she's carrying, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like I usually her like drunkenness is fun and lighthearted, but it doesn't feel something like I want to be like laughing at or like be entertained by, because it just feels super dark right now.
And oh my gosh, I couldn't love Ebony more. I feel like I know it's still the beginning of the season, but so far I am loving her. I thought the way she brought up the uncomfortable feeling she felt when Ramona referred to the waitresses as that the house is the help. I thought she addressed it beautifully. Like she called out Ramona in a really productive way, and she like was able to give that personal anecdote of my grandmother was a domestic, and you know, I just want you to know why it's hard for me. It's a trigger to hear you refer to someone as the help.
I will say, even though I'm not a huge fan of Ebony, out of the 3 episodes we have seen her, that was the moment I enjoyed most from her. And I do agree. I think she was really mature and productive about the way she brought that up. Just for me, in terms of why I don't like her, I just feel like besides that, she's not bringing too much. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I really think that she will bring it to an extent, because it seems like the ladies are kind of making her second guess coming on the show. She even seems a little like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? So that makes me think she could be a little hesitant with some of the drama, which is what we need her for, which what we need every housewife to do is fulfill their end when it comes to drama.
Yeah. There's a couple moments where I saw her face. I'm like, I don't know if she knew what she was getting into, but I feel like she is handling herself really well with the drama, and I don't really think she's gonna back down. And that's what you need on New York, because these women are like absolutely crazy. So in that sense, I feel like she's gonna hold her own.
I do have to say, I love Wendy Williams, and Ebony was on Wendy Williams, and she said she watched all the seasons of New York before. So I'm like, girl, you did know what you were signing up for.
Yeah.
If you know these, so I have to like, even though I feel like she's more grounded than the others, don't pretend like you didn't know what this was going, if you watched every season prior to.
Yeah. And we'll get into Beverly Hills, but Crystal also said that she watched before. So it feels like now a lot of the newbies, they've watched before. Like, how can you not with like social media and everything?
Who auditions for a show that they've never seen before?
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it comes off with certain wives that have seen it. I feel like it comes off as trying too hard sometimes. One person that admitted they watched the whole show before and came on so genuine and authentic to me was Bronwyn. But she said she watched all of OC before, whereas like I feel like Jen Shaw was really trying to.
Yeah, she was
housewife,
Although I think Bronwyn now is getting a little too fame obsessed.
Yeah.
But I thought at the beginning of last season, I felt that way about her too. So anyway, back to New York. Leah confronted Ramona and Avery about like lying about donating their blood plasma. I was so here for Leah calling her out. Like, I just can't with Ramona. She was so apparently lying. Like, it was
so good. And then Ramona, like when she was like staring at her and then like speaking condescending, like in that condescending tone, it made me so angry.
She's all about like class. Like when Leah said last year she was something about like a hookup or a boy toy or something, and she got like all like so uptight about it. But then she does way worse. So
yeah.
I can't with her.
I'm so done with Ramona, and I'm excited to see where next week's episode goes, like with the cliffhanger we saw between Ramona and Sonia, and we heard Sonia scream like, "You don't have any friends, Mario left you."
Yeah, and then stupid Heather Holla is coming back, and I'm just so ready for Leah to just drag her. Because I don't get how all these women are acting like they didn't hear about what Heather was saying. Like, she's so obnoxious. Then she leaves the show and talks shit about them. But then she comes back. And when Leah confronts her, then she's like, oh, well, I left because of Leah. Like, girl, you can't just like talk shit and then expect nothing to happen.
She's bugged me from her first season on the show. I was so happy when she left. And she acts, it's almost a little bit like Heather Dubrow for me. She acts so superior to these people, and I cannot stand that. It's like, you're all on the same show.
Yeah, and she just acts like a know-it-all and like...
So now we are going to leave the East Coast and head over to the West Coast and talk about the very anticipated Beverly Hills premiere. That's one of the main reasons we wanted to have Jack on this podcast, specifically this episode, to talk about this. Other than the fact that he's fabulous and a Bravoholic like we are, we need to hear about his opinions of Beverly Hills.
So I live 20 minutes from Beverly Hills. So I just love the glam, the lifestyles. It's one of my favorite franchises. There were a few seasons where it was iffy and really dragged out. I am so beyond excited for this season for multiple reasons. Number one being, and I mentioned this before, but Kathy joining. First of all, like I love Paris Hilton, so I've seen like little snippets of Kathy from like stuff Paris has done. But I just think based on this first episode, the humor she brings, like the dental work with the kids, like just, I feel like she's hysterical, and I love the history with all the Richards sisters. So I really think she is going to bring much needed humor and hopefully drama to the season. Also, I'm excited for Crystal She's coming off, so far to me, is a little braggadocious, but I'm sure as time goes on, it won't be like that. I'm also so happy Sutton has a diamond. Oh my gosh. Her unique style, her attitude. I live for her. I think she brings the drama, and these lines she says to be serious, but that like come off as laughable to me last season. Let the mouse go. Like just hysterical to me. And you know, this season, we're nothing, Erica. Like, it's just I just think she's so unintentionally fun. The leather pants it's like I'm so excited for her. And one more reason, and this is very obvious, to see all of this unfold with Erica. I feel like we're almost given a little foreshadowing in this first episode. And I'm trying to think, I know while they're filming these confessionals are usually later on in the season, obviously. So I'm sure by the time Erica was filming this for the first episode confessionals, the news about her and Tom had already broke. Obviously, she can't mention that first episode, but I just really hope she owns it this season. Own it, you know, I really hope. I feel like the other seasons have been a lot of petty drama with her and other wives. I truly think this is the most personal and deep we'll get with Erica. And I pray that we get all of the details and we see her open up to a level we never have seen her open up before.
Beverly Hills is also one of my faves, probably my favorite. And without Teddy and with like the new additions, I really love everybody on the cast. There's not one person I dislike. I just think it's a super solid cast right now. And I think Crystal right now, she's kind of like seems a little shy, but with the previews with her drama with Sutton, I think she's gonna bring it. Kathy is a lot more chaotic than I expected her to be, so I'm really here for that. And then I feel like, like Erica, I feel like she's already been opening up this first episode about seeing a psychiatrist and going on Lexapro. So I hope to continue that with Erica. And this party was like, I went back on Erica's Instagram and she posted that picture with her pink outfit like October 24th. And we heard about the divorce November like 3rd, whatever election day was. So we're like coming right up on the divorce stuff. So that's going to be happening soon.
Good detective work there, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Just like seeing them get ready and seeing them get glammed, it's just such a fun part of Beverly Hills, and we don't really get that on other cities. And so I just love that aspect to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, no franchise brings the glam the way Beverly Hills does. Speaking of glam, Garcelle's glam room, oh my God, I'm obsessed. Like that whole room was perfection. Like whenever I finally am a homeowner, like I just want to have like a room like that with a vanity table, all of it.
The wallpaper.
Yeah, the wallpaper.
Incredible.
Yeah, I love that. Garcelle's looks this season, she is slaying everything she's worn so far. Like that dinner with Rinna, with the braid, with the Louis scarf intertwined in it, looked so good. Her Chanel outfit with all the clips. I thought that was like so classy, especially with the red lip.
In regards to Garcelle, the whole her and Rinna thing, I don't blame her for being cautious. For her to just automatically trust Rinna again after everything that's happened, good for Garcelle for proceeding with caution. And I just think Garcelle's a lot more real than Rinna. And I'm happy she is being responsible in terms of trying to, learn to trust her again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm as a full-on Rinna stan, like Rinna didn't treat Denise the best. And I don't really want to go back into the Denise stuff. Like I'm so over it, but I totally understand Garcelle's point of view. I definitely think Rinna is hopefully gonna learn from last season and just kind of try to lay low this season and just try to be a better friend. I think that's gonna be her route this season, but
And then how funny is it that Kyle is having Sutton rent out her old home for $20,000 a month at the friends and family discounted rate? Please.
5,000 off, like, girl, Kyle.
and now Kyle and Dorit are besties, which is funny because like they had some little riffs last season.
Yeah, it's only because Teddy's gone.
I just think we're in for a really good season.
Fingers crossed. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I always have really high hopes, and they've been let down a couple of the last seasons, but I just have a good feeling about this season. I don't know.
I feel as though it's the most real life drama we've gotten in a while in terms of a divorce, as you know, compared to petty little hearsay arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I think that's everything we wanted to cover with you. Do you want to just kind of plug your Instagram or any of your socials?
Yes, so all of my socials are just at Jack Bacow, Bacow. I'm trying to post more often on TikTok, and like I said, my YouTube channel is just Jack Bacow as well. Instagram Jack Bacow, and I'm like I said, the housewives I love, Kim Richards, Lee Ann, I guess. I love Mary from Salt Lake too. I consider myself a little chaotic and like nuts, so I exude that energy a bit.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, thank you again so much, Jack. We absolutely loved getting to talk about all things Bravo with you, and we can't wait to have you on again.
This was so much fun. I love, dishing about Bravo. And also, I don't know if we should mention it all, but BravoCon coming back.
Yes.
We are doing our trio, going to BravoCon together. So I'm thrilled about that too.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for help. This was so much fun. I love it. Like, I don't have a lot of friends that are like this into Bravo. They've just, so this is the best.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll definitely have you back to dish more.
Okay, you guys. Love.
All right.
Bye, Jack.
Bye. See you. Bye.
So Jack doesn't watch the next two shows that we're going to cover. So we're going to jump into Below Deck Sailing Yacht, where we have our new charter guests.
So the biggest thing I wanted to touch on was there was this show on VH1 back in like 2010. I was like in middle school, and it was like my favorite show. It's called You're Cut Off. And it was all these like kind of rich brat girls that their like parents or like husbands were cutting them off for their money. And they had to like live in this house and basically learn to do chores and like go grocery shopping and like get a job and stuff like that. It was super fun, like really fun drama and just like funny moments. So Erica, our main girl, was on that show, and there was like two sides of the house on that show, and Erica was the side that was like my favorite girls, and then Jess, who was also a charter guest, who was kind of the more like opinionated, like kind of girl. She was on that You're Cut Off show as well, but they like fought so much. They hated each other. They were on opposite sides. So when I like realized that was Jess from the show, I'm like, first of all, I'm shocked that they would even like be in contact still like 10 years later, but also like be that close that she's on the trip with them. So I was just really surprised to see them together like this close after 10 years.
I've never heard of that show until you told me about it. Like literally.
It's really obscure, but like I was so obsessed with it in middle school.
Yeah, I only knew Erica from when she was on Bachelor Pad. I didn't watch her when she was a contestant on The Bachelor. Because I wasn't watching the franchise at that time. She was on Bachelor Pad, which that was really entertaining. I was bummed when they like
I know. I loved her on The Bachelor. I watched The Bachelor pad just because I had watched her on that show. I actually really used to love her.
Yeah, that show was really entertaining. So it's just funny seeing Erica back on our screens after all these years.
Yeah.
And
Kind of the same though.
she's so much the same. Like she has that same like monotone voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she
I
owns a
still
lot.
enjoyed her besides the Trump stuff.
I know she was like tatas for Trump. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Uh
I know.
so so then they definitely been kind of a demanding charter, except Natasha, like, why would she tell them that they would get a 5-course dinner when she was going to switch it to 3? Like, I know they'd been drinking all day, but she didn't say that to one person. She said it to the whole group. Someone
Yeah.
going to remember she said 5 courses.
And you shouldn't just make like this call on your own just because you assume that, oh, because they've been drinking, that I'm just gonna like cut it down to like 3 courses.
And then she just blatantly lied when Daisy was like, did you tell them they're getting 5 courses? She was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, Natasha, what the heck? Like, she's such a like a she's a arrogant. She's not a team player, especially with Daisy. And now she's just like a liar.
Yeah. But at least, she was willing to make food for them after, and like she
Well,
didn't completely.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the least she can do after
Oh,
promising them 5 courses. I think that was the whole thing looked so bad. Even Glenn was like, they're getting food after desserts. Like, even
I
he knew
know.
how bad that was. And Glenn never like says
He's
anything
never really
negative about
comment.
anybody.
He's really easygoing.
Is there anything else we want to talk about?
No,
There
I
wasn't a
was happy that this episode wasn't revolved around the stupid threesome. Like we barely saw Sydney, and I was so happy because I'm just like so bored of that storyline. So
I
annoying.
know.
Like
She's really annoying and like
Sydney's really annoying, and I don't really like. I always forget his name anyway. I don't like him either. I
very
like Al. Yeah, I like Allie though.
me too. Allie's really fun. Uh,
Allie's probably my favorite crew on this season.
So now for the first time, we are going to be covering Shahs of Sunset. Michael binged this quite a while
Last year.
ago,
Yeah,
right?
like last in 2020, that was my like binge show with Shaw's, and then I got Gaby to watch it.
Yeah.
So
I think I started maybe January, February, and I'm officially all caught up. I'm totally
mhm.
hooked. And now we will be covering every episode of season 9 of Shahs of Sunset.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the premiere episode.
So before we get into it, I'm just curious, like, who are your favorite cast
Oh,
members?
my Shaw's palette.
Palette, yeah.
So she's not on the show anymore, but I really liked Lily Galici. I know Michael doesn't like her. I was bummed when she left the show. There's been nobody who's like joined the show since the show started who stayed more than 1 or 2 seasons. Like Gigi,
Yeah.
MJ, Reza, and Mike always stay the same, like the core
Yeah.
four, but like their friends are always like alternating.
And Asa stayed for a long time too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, awesome.
But like Destiny and God, I forget his name, but they have been on now for like 2 seasons. So
Oh, Nima.
yeah, Nima. They've
Um,
been on for 2 now, so maybe they'll kind of stick around longer.
yeah. And Shervin like got demoted to friend of.
Yeah, he's like was kind of boring.
So I guess Gigi's grown on me a lot. I thought she used to
Mhm.
be like so crazy, out of line, scary. Now,
Yeah.
and I also was like, is she ready to be a mother? I'm not trying to be judgmental. She just
Mhm.
you've never had a job into your 30s. Are you really ready for motherhood for that? Because that's like a lot of responsibility. Having
Yeah.
a job is a lot of responsibility. So, but she has a lot of money and parents, so it'll be fine. But
Yeah.
anyway, I do like Gigi. I find her very entertaining. Reza, I he goes so below the belt with the things he says during fights, but then like
Exactly.
when he's good, but when he's bad, he's like horrendous.
Yeah, I used to like Reza, but I just can't really be behind. I don't hate him. I'm just like not behind him anymore. Like he's
Yeah,
just he's just a shitty friend, honestly.
he is. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I don't really have a favorite on Shaw's. There's
Mhm.
just things I like about each of them because they kind of remind me of the characters on Seinfeld. Like they're all kind of reprehensible and not very nice people.
Yeah, honestly. Mine are for sure. My number one's Gigi. I just think she's the most entertaining and I like her a lot. And I like MJ a lot. They're my top two.
Yeah. MJ just always has been such a mess. Like she always would have like a really messy hair and like not knowing what's going on, running really late. So she seems like she's starting to get it together now that she's on.
Yeah, let's getting into the premiere. It looks like her and Tommy moved into where the Kardashians are from. I'm blanking.
Baskets.
Calabasas. Yeah, so they're kind of living their like suburban parent fantasy right now,
Yeah,
which
it's
be
a
working
beautiful
out.
area.
Yeah. And then Gigi has her baby too. Both kids are really, really cute. I
Yeah.
Shams is getting so big. Like I
Yeah,
was
he's
surprised that he was
really
that big
cute.
already.
I
Yeah, he's really cute.
MJ's son is really cute. And when Gigi said that she named her son like because she thought Elijah Wood was really cute, I was like, well, I didn't see that one coming. She said that at the reunion for season 8 when Andy asked about Elijah, where she got that name from. I love
Oh
that
yeah.
name. It's a lovely name.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
And I think it's lovely that MJ named her son as a tribute to her father.
Yeah, I loved that. So now we got to see Reza and MJ kind of do a launch. Do you think that they're ever going to be back to how they were, or what do you think is going to happen with them?
Mm, probably.
I feel like
Had
they
blowouts
will.
like this before.
I feel like they're going to slowly go back to like friends, but I don't think it's ever going to be the way it was before. I don't think this just
Yeah.
felt so big.
What he said to her at the pool party last season, I don't think you can ever come back fully from that
Yeah.
because that's
Well,
like that's one of the cruelest things you could say to somebody, much less in public on national television. And like obviously he
yeah.
knew what he was doing when he said it.
Yeah, he that was terrible. But then like Tommy getting involved and then like legal stuff with Tommy, like it's just been too much where it's like it's not just like some little fight that you get over. Like it's been a lot of big things happening that I just don't think that they're ever gonna go back to normal. I think they'll be able to film together. It
Mhm.
won't be like that big where like, LVP stop filming. It's not gonna be like that, but like they're not going to be like best friends.
No, I don't think so either. Um, and Mike and Paulina are having issues
Yeah.
because it looks like Mike is guilty of his behavior we've seen for 8 seasons. There
Yeah.
were some very inappropriate text messages. He's claiming his iCloud account was hacked. Do we believe this?
No, I don't believe it at all. I think that's like the worst cop out ever. I don't know who would believe that.
Yeah,
Um,
like if someone's going into your iCloud account, it's to make it seem like you're cheating. It's not to like take personal information. Okay.
yeah, exactly. And then like the fact that he won't change his number because he has like contacts from Vegas from like years ago. I think that's biggest bullshit. Like obviously I feel like he's got like side hoes that he's not going to change his number because like he is just shady to me. And then he was gaslighting Paulina in the car like, "Oh, you're just drunk." Like yeah, I'm not here for him.
Mike is such a he's always been one of those guys or that he kind of is like Sonia Morgan. He never follows through with anything. Like
Yeah,
all of his businesses like fall through. He's all talk. He thinks he knows everything.
yeah.
So I just don't really see what the appeal is to Mike. I mean, he's not bad looking, but like he
Good
doesn't
look.
have like some great personality to make him like so good
Yeah.
to me.
I feel like there's been a few moments on the show with him where I really was like, oh, he's like genuinely like a good guy. Like there have been moments where I have enjoyed him, but overall, I feel like we don't really see that a whole lot. So
Yeah, he's just a shady guy who like thinks he's much greater than he is.
yeah, most
That
men are
said,
like that though.
it's kind of entertaining. I don't like the way he treats women though. I think
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I really never liked Jessica, but
oh my gosh, when Tommy accidentally called Paulina Jessica. And like,
that
remember
was funny.
last reunion, Paulina was like, stop talking about Jessica.
Yeah, I don't
And
blame her. I would be so
yeah,
sick of hearing about Jessica too. Like, I'm Team Paulina 100%. I just think she deserves better. But I think Jessica was like too like submissive to him, and that's why it didn't work out. I feel like Paulina's more like on his level. Like, she's not gonna put up with his bullshit, kind of. So I think she's a better fit for him in that sense. But I just don't know how long she's gonna deal with this. So
yeah, and she has kids. And she
yeah.
said last season, like, oh, we hopefully will be married in the next year, God willing. Like all these girls like want to marry Mike. Like remember Morgan, like before
Yeah,
Paulina, she was like, oh, this is our first, like, I think it was Passover or Shabbat dinner. I can't remember which holiday it was, but she's like, it's the first of many. And it's like all these girls like want to like be wifed up by Mike really bad. And I'm like, but why though?
yeah, he's not. I mean, he's good looking, but besides that,
Yeah, but his personality is very off-putting to me.
yeah, I agree.
Like his looks don't outweigh that for me. But he like
Yeah,
he's entertaining.
yeah, and I like him like in the group. But yeah, I just don't like him like with his significant others.
Yeah, he's very
But
chauvinistic.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty good season from the trailer. There's some funny scenes, and it looks like they're gonna be going to Palm Springs soon, which will be fun to watch now that we were going, now that we were there.
Yeah,
We'll see some spots that we like were near. So
I know. I'm excited for this season too and to see them in Palm Springs.
it'll be our first season, both of us watching like live. So it'll
I
be
know
kind of
we'll be sleeping on it.
yeah.
So now
So
the next show I'll be probably binging Bravo wise. I'll be probably toggling between Below Deck and Married to Medicine.
yeah, I need to start binging Married to Med for sure.
So we're going to wrap it up for this week. That is everything that we wanted to cover. We will see you next week for another episode of The Word on the Street Is.